Well, earlier this year, John Gainham, who's our chairman, at one of our board meetings, sort of challenged Prestoplan to come up with a solution for a room in the roof application. The Midlands division had trialled a system with a competitor, which had proved to be a solution, but he felt that we could probably do better.
What we've done with the PresRoof is actually taken the truss out of the scenario and manufactured cassettes that drop on as you would a cassette floor. The main benefit is actually that you don't get onto the roof from a health and safety point of view, but also speed. You're dropping in large sections that give you a watertight building within 2 hours. The flexibility within the roof structure is quite unique because we have very large cassettes. Currently there are very few limitations into the size of window or aperture we can put in, so that really does make it very open to architectural design and customer requirements.
I think there were a number of factors that we needed to satisfy. Firstly, there was speed of build. Secondly, there was a safe operation. There were issues with masonry build with the very tall blockwork gables, which there had been a number of collapses. And I think the other thing was to reduce scaffolding costs, to create a single solution. A lot of the regions had their own particular approaches to this roof type, so a single solution with a solid cost base is what they wanted to achieve.
Well, when Taylor Wimpey first approached us about developing a prefabricated solution for this type of roof, they told us that they had health and safety issues with the way they did it at the moment. It was difficult to build safely, although they did manage it clearly. And it was taking them an awful long time. So we looked at some of the existing systems around, decided that we could improve on those even further, and came up with this system, which, as you can see, went together very, very quickly. Very few components, enables us to put the windows in before we lift it onto site, efficient use of the crane.
Well, from a health and safety point of view, what you're trying to eliminate, especially on a roof, is working at height. What you've achieved out there, you've greatly reduced working at heights. You're not walking across trusses, or you literally have got edge protection in front of you at each stage of the build.
I think, again, if you take, certainly on the 1089 house type, if you take the surface area of brick and block work that you have normally in a traditional build situation, and you put that in certain environments. We've had a site out at Kington where we've built units out there, and because it acts almost like a sail, on a number of occasions we've come in the next day and the whole lot has blown down and gone straight through the joist, so obviously there's a cost impact there, but from a health and safety point of view, this system should eliminate those risks, which you know, you can't put a price on that really.
I think everybody looks at health and safety and realises that you want people to go home at the end of the day. Roofs historically are probably the largest element that could cause a risk of fall, and by removing that in using the PresRoof, I think it's a big step forward.
In terms of health and safety, clean floor, no bean bags, no internal scaffolding, and yet built safely and quickly.
Basically, the speed of the construction, as we say, you've got a roof on within an hour, 2 hours, less weather to affect the roof being put on. You can get your scaffold down quicker, you can start getting your externals to your plot looking, street scene, that type of thing. And from a construction point of view, production director's dream, absolutely superb.
Very good. I thought the actual system that Prestoplan had developed using their press web was excellent. I think what you get with Prestoplan's design is flexibility. Obviously you've got greater strength with the press web being used, but also flexibility for services to be installed, ease of handling, perhaps not as heavy, men not having to climb all over the roof to erect, and so I thought very, very good indeed.
First impressions are excellent. I don't think there's going to be an issue from a production point of view. And all the guys here, production, health and safety, technical, it's a sort of no-brainer to use the cliche. The issue is only going to be and I think it always was, in cost. I think what we've got to make sure is though that we look at the whole cost and rather than the price. There's a lot of sort of hidden things, for instance, it typically takes say 2 weeks to put a roof like that on. So there's all the incidental factors that happen in that 2 weeks, like the rain and inclement weather, that kind of thing, that we sort of need to take into account. All the prelims, the scaffolding, health and safety measures we need for spandrel panels, that kind of thing. I think when we've done all that, it'll be interesting to see how it pans out.
There are two aspects to the financial issues. The initial exercise will be to identify the costs of the elements that we replace, which will probably show the press roof to be slightly more expensive. But when one takes into account the whole situation with regards to time savings, prelim savings, the build times being reduced, etc., and also the safe element, I think it's going to be seen to be a very cost-effective approach.
I think what you've got with that design is a system where you can put the roof up in a very, very safe manner at a reduced time scale as well, which is also important to us. And I would think, quickly looking at that, over the course of construction, you're probably saving about 2 weeks.
The financial benefits there, as I say, you'll be putting devices in place. It may be a crash deck system, crash bags, there may be some kind of platform across the trusses. With the system you've got out there, you've eliminated all that. You're using a couple of internal step ladders or hydraulic steps. You've done away with the beam bags. So yeah, there is a cost saving.
You're essentially putting the principles of timber frame on top of a traditional build product. So that's always good in terms of prelim savings, because once it's watertight, you've got people on the inside, so you can twin track your program effectively.
Well, we've installed this one today in about 50 minutes. If we were on site and installing trusses and cat slide rafters, probably the best you'd be looking at 2 days, so it really speaks for itself.
I think to the construction worker from outside other following trades apart from the timber frame erector, there is no difference. They're seeing a similar shaped roof. They are seeing a joisting system within the roof, so they've got the same sort of fixings that they would use to fit plasterboard, to put their services through from an electrical or M&E point of view. And because it is the press web, they can actually get the service through a lot quicker. There's no drilling, and the runs are very, very simple.
You know, it shaved an enormous amount of time off of a traditional roof.
From a pure production point of view, I think you'll get, 10 out of 10 every time.
Modern methods of construction, made off-site, brought to site and quickly erected, it looks very good indeed.
Well, for health and safety, buildability, absolutely superb job.